And had I run across something like this, this would be known as about a half a roll of toilet paper.
Hi, Daddy.
I'm a little over an hour into this morning's hike. Sun just coming up over the horizon. I left a tent site just down from Humpback Mountain. So I did start hiking in the dark right around 6:15. Kind of normal, but it's a beautiful day, and it was chilly this morning, and I decided to keep my base layer leggings on, my base layer top underneath my normal hiking shirt, and this jacket. And probably within 30 minutes, I knew I'd overdressed for today. So I had to change clothes right on the trail. I changed back into my shorts. I took my base layers off, and because I was getting too warm. So there was nobody around, but if you happen to be watching and you were around and didn't make yourself known, sorry about that scene. But anyway, heading into Waynesboro, and after that the Shenandoahs. But a beautiful sunrise this morning, as much as I could see. Still had a lot of trees blocking the view, but there's just that bed of clouds down in the gaps. And what's exciting me is the weather forecast, as unreliable as it is. It looks like for the next, at least through the end of potentially my hike, there's no rain. And I know that's going to change. Something's going to pop up, but it just makes me feel like, my hike through the Shenandoahs is going to be enjoyable. If I get days like this, it's going to be fantastic. I'm about to fall over because I'm on a downhill. So, it's amazing to me that I have made it through without injuring myself. There's so many, especially on terrain like this, there's so many ankle twisting episodes, or I trip and catch myself with my poles or something. But I'm surprised I won't need face surgery after this, because there have been plenty of times when I could have gone face first were it not for these. All right, so I think I got about 6.5 miles left to get into Waynesboro and get some town food. And the hostel I'm staying at, it's called Stanimals, and it's kind of the sister hostel to the hostel I stayed at in Glasgow a few days ago, also called Stanimals. But this one's supposed to be larger, 3 times as many bathrooms. And they stock their refrigerator for hikers, and they supposedly sell like frozen pizzas and ice cream and Gatorades and sodas, and which is what they did in Glasgow. So same situation down here, but also within a walk of a McDonald's, Walmart marketplace, places for resupply. So that's what's gonna kind of sway my decision to stay in town for an extra day or not. But I'm kind of anxious to keep the hike going, get the half day rest today, do what I need to do, the laundry, shower, resupply, relax, and then, hike out tomorrow and just enjoy the Shenandoahs. But I won't decide that until I get there. But the terrain, been thinking a lot about, how much it resembles what I encountered in Pennsylvania. And the difference is, it's just as tough. But the difference is, I've been out here for a few months now, and I think of course my body's more acclimated and I'm more used to it, but I have a better attitude about it, because I can't change it, and it still hurts my feet. But maybe my feet are a little bit tougher. They feel like, they peaked as far as the toughness scale a while ago, and now they're like, like I said, they're just like ready to tap out. But they're tired, and so am I. But I wouldn't trade this for anything. So, onward to Waynesboro. Okay, I said yesterday I would share a story about how I got this channel name, and I have shared the part about how I chose my trail name as Hickory, and you'll have to look at another previous episode for that. But the part of they call me, once I decided to do a thru hike, I then had to decide whether I wanted to film it, and I eventually said I decided yes, I do want to film it. And then I had to decide, would there be any benefit to anybody if I shared them, because my intent of filming was for me to have something in the future to look back on, and maybe later generations might have an idea of who Grandpa was or great grandpa, and that's something I would love to have. I do have some film of my previous generations, but there's really nothing that I had of me to share with Muffin Button, Mini Muffin Button. All right, coming up on a blowdown here. Gotta love this stuff. So eventually I decided, all right, I will share them with the hope that I could inspire somebody else to get out and follow their dream, not necessarily a thru hike, but to just get out there. Because others that film their thru hikes helped inspire me to get out here. And I was very appreciative of what they shared. So I made that decision. And in order to share it, I had to come up with a name for the channel. And the reason I'm sharing this story is because I've been thinking a lot about my dad and my mom, because the trail can make you get a little reflective, and I say that it's really, for me, it's been a chance to be very much reflective. All right, so I ramble, but back when I was a kid and growing up, I've mentioned my dad was a really busy guy, and he did everything he could to support the family. He commuted to law school while he had a job, financially supporting the family. So he was gone a lot, well, during the day, but the commute, he would come in late for dinner quite often. And on the weekends or whatever, he'd be working in the yard, doing something to improve life. And he and I did have our opportunities to bond. Throwing a football, baseball, working in the yard together. I was the laborer. But back when I was growing up, I'm going to switch gears back to the channel. If you wanted to watch a movie, it's unlike today. There were no DVDs or, before that VCRs, whatever. If you wanted to watch a movie, you had to go to the movie theater and catch it, before it was, replaced by another movie. And if you wanted to see that movie, if you missed it in the theater, you had to wait until it came on network television, and that could be like a year or two later. So, going to the movie theater was, a treat. Didn't happen all that often. And, went to see the normal family stuff like, The Sound of Music. Or maybe like a Disney cartoon release, whatever. But there were times when my dad would come up to me and go, "Hey, you want to go see a movie tonight? Just you and me." And it was like, wow, just the guys. It's like, yeah, and so it was stuff, kind of like, I want to say male related, but like James Bond. I remember going to see Diamonds Are Forever with my dad, and that introduced me to the James Bond movies. And one of the James Bond movies, not the one I saw with my dad, but it's one of my all-time favorite movies. But so James Bond, some westerns like Clint Eastwood stuff. Another one of my all-time favorites that my dad introduced me to in the theater, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I still love that movie. But there was a genre of movies referred to as spaghetti westerns. There's some animal activity down here. It's deer. And in fact, I'm going to go off on a tangent again, but I've seen deer almost every day in the state of Virginia. But okay. Spaghetti westerns, and they were just kind of I think most of them were filmed in Italy, and that's where they got their name. But they were just kind of not a serious western. So there was a series of spaghetti westerns, and it featured an actor I think his name was Terrence Hill. And the first movie in that series released, and my dad took me, I remember he took me to the theater to see this thing. It was called They Call Me Trinity. And that's where my channel name comes from. So it's kind of an ode to the days that my dad and I, shared father-son time together. And, we got away, from the house, went out, saw like a, macho Western. But in this case, They Call Me Trinity series of movies. I think a later one, the next one was called Trinity Is Still My Name was another title. But they were funny. They were kind of slapstickish. And Trinity, the main character, Terrence Hill, he was like the best gunslinger in the West, even though I think it was pretty much filmed in Italy. It was, presented as a Western. But they were visually funny, and the best scenes were of Trinity eating a meal, usually like it was a skillet of beans or something like that. But anyway, I still remember those days. I still remember those movies. I think if you go online, you can probably dig They Call Me Trinity up and check it out. The quality probably won't be so good because it's kind of a 1970-ish movie. But anyway, They Call Me Hickory comes from that series of movies that my dad and I shared. So here's to you, Dad. All right, back in the early days of the thru hike, I left behind my only roll of toilet paper. And the next 24 hours or so, I had to make do with what the trail provided. And had I run across something like this, this would be known as about a half a roll of toilet paper. This would have been quite a find. I would have packed this out and made it last. So it's the only one of these I can see. Oh, there's more. There's a whole bush of them. So this would have been a treasure trove of toilet paper. So I like it. Onward, this way. I'm less than 10 minutes away from Rockfish Gap, which is the pickup point for the hostel I'm staying at tonight in Waynesboro. I can hear the roar of the car traffic. So it's right around the corner. So I'm looking forward to some really bad food in the form of fast food, and who knows, maybe a pizza, because I'm running out of bad food time out here. I only have so many days left to check out Town Pizza and maybe a McDonald's or two before I transition into hopefully a healthier lifestyle. All right, so Rockfish Gap, here we come, and it's actually the last 3/4 of a mile or so is uphill into the gap, which is kind of unusual, but I'll take it. Onward.